Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on how to publish lessons to the IRMC Academy. My name is Theron, and today I'm going to help you become more familiar with how to manage content through the hospital's learning management system. Today we're going to assign a lesson to learners on neonatal resuscitation. To begin, let's quickly go over what we will cover in this tutorial. First, we will briefly cover some e-learning design tools that are available to us. Second, we will create a quiz and link it to the newly created lesson. Finally, we will use the IRMC Academy to link the lesson to a module that we can assign to our learners. In another video, we'll cover how to create a lesson, engage, and storyline, and upload to the server. Before we begin, in order to complete the above steps independently, you will need a computer that has e-learning software installed, administrator login rights for the IRMC Academy and the FTP server. If you have any questions, you can stop by People Development and see Jim Kinnear. Let's go ahead and get started. So to begin, the e-learning software that I'm currently using is Articulate Storyline. This is a program that has a lot of features and is great for designing e-learning. The other that can be used is called Articulate Engage. That is a plug-in tool that's included in PowerPoint. We decided for our neonatal resuscitation lesson to use Articulate Engage because we had already created our PowerPoint slides and just needed to update them into an e-learning format. So if I go to our lesson, which we published on the FTP server, we have our lesson, and it's taking our slides and putting them into an e-learning format where our learners can click through and learn all that they need to and then be prepared to take our quiz. Now let's go ahead and move on to how we can create our test for our lesson that we've designed. After our lesson has been published to the server, we are ready to log into IRMC Academy and create the quiz. This quiz is going to help reinforce our learning objectives and provide a way for us to track our learners' completion of the course. So the first thing we're going to do when we're on IRMC Academy is to check to see if the lesson has already been created. And we're going to do that by going to Content, Manage Linked Content. A search bar is going to come up, and I'm going to go ahead and type our lesson name, Neonatal Resuscitation, and I'm going to do a search. And when I do the search, it's going to show me if the lesson has already been created or not. It has been. For instance, if we were doing this for our first time, instead of clicking on Neonatal Resuscitation, we would click Add New Lesson. We would type in our lesson name at the top, a quick description of what our lesson is. We would add our URL. We receive the URL after we upload it to the FTP server. We would also link the test to this lesson, and we would be able to select it from our list. Since we've already created our lesson and it's uploaded to the server, we now need to create a test to link it to this lesson. So before we're going to go ahead and move on with that, we're going to show you how to make a test. So we're going to go back to Content and Manage Linked Tests. And in the search box on the left, it gives us the option to add a new test. If this was the first time we were creating a test, we would type in our test name and hit Add New Test. Since it's already been done, I'm just going to search for it. And it's right here. So I'm going to open it. Once we've opened our test, on the right-hand side, there's an Add and Edit Question box. We can go ahead and click that box. That's going to open a page that allows us to create questions. As you can see, we already have questions, 4 questions completed for this. If we wanted to edit a previous one or add one, we would come down to the bottom and click Edit. So this would be the page that would come up if you were first creating a quiz for your lesson. You would type your question number. You would choose what type of question it is, multiple choice, with a single answer, multiple answers, a true, false, or yes, no question. In the question box for number 1, we would put in our question. So for instance, this says, who should respond to the call for a code blue neonate, which is a multiple choice, single answer question. We are then going to add our answers for A, B, C, D, and E. For F, we put the answer all the above, which is the correct answer. After we establish our questions and answers, we're going to select the correct one and update the question. Now once you've gone through and added all of your questions, you're all set and your test is complete. We're going to scroll to the top and we can see this green box that says my Request has been processed successfully. I'm going to click to return to linked test list. This brings me back to our test that we've already created, and our test is successfully down here at the bottom under neonatal resuscitation. Now that we have our test, I'm going to show you how to link your test to your lesson. And we're going to go under Content again, Manage Link Content. We're now going to go under the Add New Lesson tab. And if this was the first time we were creating a lesson, we do what we talked about earlier in adding a lesson name, a description, our URL. Then we're going to click Link a Test to this lesson. We're then going to search for our lesson, which is titled Neonatal Resuscitation. We're also going to click the box that says Allow anyone to sign this lesson. We're going to leave the pop-up window width the same. And we're then going to click Enable Web Browser Toolbars in your lesson pop-up window and click Save. One quick thing to add is that we want to make sure that we add a year to the name of our lesson. That allows us to look back and to see compliance throughout a staff member's time at the IRMC. So make sure we put 2015 Neonatal Resuscitation. So for our final step, we're going to assign this lesson to our learners. We're going to do that by going to this top menu bar again. If you've noticed, during this lesson we've used two main drop-downs, which is the content bar at the top, and now we're going to switch to e-learning. Under e-learning, we're going to click Create an Assignable Module. The next question that is asking is where our content is coming from. So under this content source drop-down, we're going to click linked content because we linked our content from the IRMC server. It's now giving you a search box to find the lesson that we want to link. So we're just going to type in Neo and then hit our filter button. It then brings up our correct lesson, which we're going to select. And we're going to hit Add to Saved Items. This allows us to take multiple lessons to assign to a single module. So if there were other lessons other than neonatal resuscitation, we could add it to this list and assign it all at once as a module for our learners. Next, we're going to go down to the bottom right and click Create New Module. This brings up a dialog box that allows us to select the modules and a module name. We're just going to call this Neonatal Resuscitation. And click Create Module. It then shows a dialog box that says it was created successfully. We're then going to go down to the bottom and click Assign Training. Alright, so this now brings up an assign page in which we can assign it to our learners. If you're ever lost at any point, you can always go back to e-learning and then click back on Assign Training. It'll bring you back to this same page. We're given two options here to choose a module from your department or a module available to all facilities. We're going to choose the second one, and then we're going to search for our lesson. We titled it 2015 Neonatal Resuscitation, so we're going to go down to 2015. It's easy to find, and our lesson is now available. We're then going to move down to the second part and click Who is to be assigned to this module. This is the part that takes some time to get used to and to understand how the IRMC Academy works. The best way that I've found to assign it to our learners is to go down to the last button, which says Choose Individuals. This brings up a box which allows us to search through individuals from their first and last name if we have a specific person, or to go and find a group. Since I know this lesson has to be assigned for CRNAs, I'm going to select from a facility the IRMC Academy, and it's going to load all the departments within that facility. Once I've chosen my facility, it allows me to choose a specific department, and now I want to scroll down and look for CRNAs. There's also a job code listed to the right, and here I have CRNA 7515. I'm going to select that. Once I have my department selected, I can go ahead and search for that criteria. So since I select Choose Individuals, it's going to find all of the individuals that meet this criteria. So here I have my list of learners who are CRNAs. I'm going to click this box in the upper left-hand corner, which selects all of them. I'm then going to click OK. Once I click OK, it's going to load all of my individuals into my list down here. I have all of my learners located right here, and I can go through and continue to add individuals as needed. For instance, if I needed to add ICU RNs, elementary RNs, pediatric RNs, I could go through, select my facility, select the correct department, and then search. And the process would be the same. You could select your learners and hit OK. We've successfully created our lesson, created the lesson and linked it to the test. Now we've assigned all of our learners to the test. The final thing we need to do is click the Assign Now button, which is going to give us a green dialog box at the top and say it's successfully completed. I'm not going to hit that button right now since I've already assigned it, and that completes this part of the tutorial.
I hope this quick tutorial helped you to better understand how to create and assign a web lesson. Please stop by People Development if you need help with a project. Thank you. Have a great day.